Most people aren't failing because they lack motivation. They fail because they quietly relapse back into old habits, old environments, old versions of themselves. And the worst part, most of the time, they don't even see it happening. If you've ever had a strong stretch where your discipline was up and your focus was locked in, your momentum felt real, and then somehow you drifted back, you're not broken. You just ran into one of the most predictable patterns in behavior change, because relapse isn't random, it's patterned. And once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. So here's the truth that most people miss: old patterns are not just habits, they're familiar identities. And your nervous system is deeply wired for what feels familiar, not what feels optimal. So when you start changing your behavior, there's often internal tension. Part of you is moving forward, but part of you is trying to pull you back to what feels known. That tension is where most relapses begin. So if you want to stop repeating the same stop start cycle over and over again, you need to understand the three biggest relapse triggers. What gets you to go back into that mindset? Number one is going too hard, too fast. This is the classic mistake. I've made this mistake many times. People get motivated and they overhaul everything. They're like, dang, what I'm doing right now, none of this stuff is working, man. I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta do that and that and that and that. And they overhaul everything and they raise every standard overnight. And their system can't sustain it. What follows? Burnout, fatigue, old patterns return. Comment down below if you've been stuck in that cycle before. So it's prevention, but it's built gradually. Consistency is going to beat intensity every single time. Number two, environmental drift. This one's really subtle. You make internal progress, right? But your environment, it stays the same. The same triggers, the same distractions, the same difficult patterns around you. Over time, the environment quietly pulls your behavior back to the baseline where you started from. So to prevent this, you need to continuously upgrade your environment, even in tiny, small ways. Just one thing here, one thing there. Friction matters more than motivation. So remove any friction that you have in your environment. Trigger number three, emotional fatigue. This one is almost not talked about. Okay. When stress rises and when sleep drops, when life gets noisy, your brain defaults to the most familiar coping patterns that it can. Not the newest ones, the oldest ones, the ones that have been there since you were a kid. So to prevent this, expect low energy days. And you got to build momentum standards and minimum standards that you still execute even when momentum is at a given zero. So let's reframe this entire mindset that you have right now. Relapse is not proof that you can't change. It's feedback about where your system is still under supported. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is faster recovery and stronger structure each time. Because the people who win long term aren't the ones who never slip. They're the ones who catch the slide early. So if you've been frustrated by falling back into old patterns, good. Now you can see it differently. Not as failure, but as information. Tighten the structure, adjust the environment, lower the all or nothing pressure, and keep stacking clean days. That's how real change stabilizes. So if you're serious about breaking the start-stop cycle, follow for more conversations on discipline, identity, and real momentum. And comment no relapse if you're building smarter consistency this time. And until next time, man, peace.